How's it going? I'm Ryan. Today I'm going to go over the two trades that I took on MNQ. I'm recording this while the market is still open. We have about another 40 minutes or so till the market closes. Not for futures necessarily, but just in general. I'm back after a bit of a hiatus. I took 3 days off this week. Ended last week with a bit of a losing streak. You can see my account balance. I'm down quite a bit. On Friday, off stream, I went on a bit of tilt. I realized that I was just getting too, emotionally tied to trading in terms of letting my results of trades affect me emotionally, and then that emotion affecting my subsequent trades. So I felt the best thing to do was take a few days off this week, allow myself like a full reset, 5 days or so off of trading. Was still kind of checking on charts, looking at some things, paying attention to what the market was doing, but not taking trades myself, and just kind of distancing myself from that so that I could get a bit of a disconnect. So that's why I was gone first half of this week. I'll be back now, so just wanted to explain that a bit because I was gone for a little bit without really any explanation or reason. But that's the reason. But let's take a look at the trades I took today, and let's take a look at what I was watching. First, we'll talk about what I was watching in terms of levels. I didn't have any zones down here drawn because we dropped pretty heavily from where we were when I drew these zones. So that's on me. I should have updated. But what I do have is yesterday's highs and lows designated by the green and red levels. I have these orange levels, or gold. Those are the pre-market highs and lows. And coming into the day, looking at the hourly, we're on the hourly here, was looking that we're in a bit of a range, right? If you look from like yesterday's price action, and then we're kind of hanging out in here, we have that pre-market low around these lows in here. We have that pre-market high pretty much exactly at the high of the after hours. It's a little bit of a double top there, maybe, foreshadowing of this massive decline that we've seen today. But really what I was watching is, if we're going to be in a range, play the range. If we're going to break out or trend either up or down, to play that. And one thing that's been helping me do that, or I have implemented to help me do that, I should say, is the 20 EMA. So I have this 20 EMA right here. Might be hard to read, but it's 20 EMA. This teal line, or turquoise, and that's just to help more precisely, I guess, or more clearly identify trend. You can see in a choppy market, it doesn't really do much. But you can see when we're trending down, it's pretty evident, and those rejections off of that EMA are pretty nice too when we're in a trend. So you can see that it works both ways, right? When we're trending up, we had quite a bit of chop in here, but now that we've been trending down, you see that we get these rejections off of it, broke back above it. So it's not perfect, but it is just kind of an indicator to prevent me from doing what I did last week, and that is fighting the trend. So that's something new that I'll be playing around with. All right, let's get into it. So we'll take a look just at this 5,000 tick chart. We have MNQ right here. Like I said, we have this pre-market low here. We have this pre-market high up here. We open the day right in here, kind of right in the middle of this range. One thing I was noticing is this range that we established at the end of yesterday, right? Pretty clear range from like, we'll call it 20,000 to say like 20,070. So like this 70-point range in here. And then we kind of have these little outliers, right? This spike down for yesterday's low, and then this after hours pre-market spike high. My very first trade, and you can see it here, was a short position. So we had opened the day kind of in the middle of the range, came down towards the pre-market low, not quite the pre-market low, and then we kind of worked our way back up towards this 20 EMA. So there's a few things working, and I want to point those out. So the reason why I took a short here is because we were kind of at the top of this range, right? I was talking about that range that we were in around 20,070, right? So you can see that the top of this range, we're getting rejections. That's right where we were. We are also at that 20 EMA. I watched us get a slight close above, but as soon as we start pulling back below, I entered with 5 contracts. My stop loss was above here. I gave it about 10 points or so. I think I gave it like 13 points. So if we continue to break up, then I would have been stopped out. But I pretty much put it up kind of above the top of that range. But looked like we were rejecting. We were in a downtrend in the kind of the very short term, right? So rejecting off the top of that range and rejecting off the 20 EMA, I felt confident to take a small risk here. What I was looking for was a return back down kind of towards the bottom of this range, right? You know, we have the bottom down here around this pre-market low. I trimmed a little over half my position, so I sold 3 contracts, or excuse me, I guess I bought 3 contracts. I took 3 shorts off right around this little swing low that we had here. That was about 20 points, about 22 points if we want to be exact. And then I took the rest off around the low a day down here. So not quite the exact low a day. I moved it up a couple points because I have a tendency to just barely miss my take profit by a few points. So now, out of precaution, I'll usually move my take profit up a few points from where I think price will go, just to get a higher likelihood of price actually hitting my take profit. So this doesn't look like much compared to like these big swings, but these big swings are well over 100 points. So this was 36 points, and this was about 22 points. So overall, that was a nice win off the day. I was up about $275. And that was my first trade of the day with just 5 contracts. That's great. I'm really trying to focus in on getting bigger moves with less contracts. That way, if I get stopped out, it's not such a big loss. But I can still, capture those 20, 30 point moves with, 3, 4, 5 contracts and have a pretty good profit. So that's what we're looking at, about a 13 or so point risk for 20 points, 30 points, or 36 points or so. So that was a nice risk to reward. We like that. And that, like I said, that's just playing this range, playing that EMA, playing the overall weakness that we had to start the day. We broke down, so we kind of bounced around in here. Like I said, we're kind of in the middle of this range. I don't want anything to do with it. We had a nice bounce off that pre-market low. Not quite, but that bottom of this range and that pre-market low ran about 100 points. It's crazy how big of moves NQ is making today. There's some serious money to be made, and we'll talk about this right here because it dropped 200 points and I got stopped out on my runner right before it. We'll talk about that in a second. But yeah, nice bounce from pre-market low. Like I said, kind of once we're in this range, I don't really want to do much. We broke down pretty severely, broke below yesterday's low a day, came up, got the retest of yesterday's low a day. So if I extend this, we got that retest and kind of coming up and retesting that 20 EMA. That would be a nice entry as well. But once we came up and started testing this pre-market low, this pre-market low also coincides with kind of the low of this range, right? So this is a big area. We had a lot of bounces from this area. We had strong price action reacting to this area. So we'd come up and we are above the 20 EMA, right? We got that really bullish move up, but what gave me confidence to take a short position, so this is what I did. I took 2 contracts. Since I already had a good win on the day, I wanted to size down and de-risk. But what gave me the confidence is that we had pretty much a straight vertical move to the upside with no pullback after this weakness that we've had, right? Knowing that we had this big bounce, nearly 100 points again. Like I said, these 100-point swings are pretty crazy. Had this big move to the upside, but we are now testing this bottom of this range that we had not retested, right? We got this massive flush, broke through it, never retested, came up to retest. And then I was pretty patient, and we got like 3 consecutive candles where we were trying to wick above and failing to close. So these 3 candles in a row gave me confidence that we were weak. As we started to come up again, I entered a short position with 2 contracts. My first target was down near that 20 EMA. I thought that there was a likelihood that we'd hit that and bounce because we had pulled away from it so much. Like that distance between the price and that 20 EMA is pretty great, knowing that we might come down and a likelihood of bouncing from here. Also, it was close to yesterday's low. So took off one contract down here. That was about 25 points. So that was a decent win. Like I said, I only had 2 contracts, so I took one off for there. That's a $50 profit. And I set my stop just below these wicks in here. You see we came up and stopped me out. That's a 12-point win for that one. So I took a 12-point win. But unfortunately, it stopped me out by just a few points before managing to drop literally 200 points. If you look at where it stopped me out, around 2,000 or 20,000, excuse me. And then we dropped without a pullback all the way to, below over 200 points. So that's a bit of a crazy move, a little bit of a bummer, right? I was going to try to trail it and aim for low day if we were weak. I didn't have a profit target on this. I was just going to trail it with a stop loss and hope to capture a big move like we had. So a little bit of a, I probably had my stop loss a little too tight. I felt good putting it here at about 12 points because we got down, over 30 points. So didn't think that we'd pop that hard, or if we did, that maybe we'd get that continuation and I'd be happy getting stopped out regardless. So probably a little bit too tight of a stop loss on that caused me to miss out on potential massive gains. So like I said, only one contract, right? But still, even up, 80 points or so on a single contract is a nice win. Can't complain overall, though. Had a nice day. My profits look pretty small when you compare it to the size of these moves. 100, 200 point swings, pretty incredible. But happy to come back after a little bit of a hiatus and have a good day. Overall profit on the day is 350 flat. So we'll take that, and that's only using 5 contracts and 2 contracts. And this had the potential to be hundreds of dollars had I not gotten stopped out on that runner. But we'll take it, right? If we can hit those 20-point wins consistently, we'll take that every time. But that's it for the day. Just those 2 quick trades, kind of just playing off of levels. So you can see these on the hourly too. That pre-market low. So this second trade that I took here, you can see what that level looked like on the hourly that we came up and retested and then dropped. So everything was kind of aligning on multiple time frames. Price action was confirming that we were weak. Really like that one. This one might have been a bit more of a gamble, but not necessarily. I did like the fact we were at the top of that range and rejecting off the 20 EMA. So trying to play it smarter. This was a trade that I took last night, actually. I'm not sure why it's still showing today. But that's pretty, that's nothing. That's a single contract for 4 points. That was just me testing something. I thought for some reason I wasn't able to take trades. I was trying to take a trade and it wasn't filling my order. So that was literally just me trying something out last night when I was charting and looking at things. So that can be ignored. What we're really looking at is these 2 trades right here. A little bit of FOMO seeing that big drop. 200 points is absolutely nuts. That's $400 on a single contract, but yeah, we had a decent day, so I can't complain. That's all I got for you. Thank you for watching. I do trade live Monday through Friday, so be here looking to close out the week strong tomorrow and then head into next week. Appreciate you. Hope you have a great day. Peace.